Hola, Bean Burritos. My name is Matt Rhodes. Welcome to the beginnings of greatness. Today is 4/21/2013. With me is the assistant to the guest host. As always, the wonderful, the lovely, the newly shaved upstairs above his ears and downstairs below his ears above his neck, Joey Livingston.
Thank you. That's the first time you've almost announced me correctly.
Oh, what did I do wrong this time?
I don't know. I would be getting real technical if I. You did a pretty good job.
Usually, I don't say the assistant to the guest host.
That's right.
But
That's the one thing.
You're right. You've corrected me every time, and I've learned after probably 30 shows.
Well, as the executive producer of the network, I need to train you to properly announce our hosts with their proper titles.
Hosts with the proper titles.
That's right. And I'm the only one that has a official title besides host, but nevertheless.
I have you down on your title in Joey Livingston, and below it, I have director. Is that cool? It's been director ever since you've had a title.
You're teasing me.
No, I got director. I mean, is that fine? Or
on this show?
No. For if you're on another show.
On this show, I am the assistant to the guest host.
Right. But you said also as executive producer, right? But I'm saying I got you down as director. Is that okay? Or is that not okay? Would you rather be director or executive producer?
You're asking me to make that decision right now.
Right now. Which one would you? But does executive producer?
I'll tell you
what. Is director an umbrella and executive producer goes underneath it?
Underneath it?
Underneath it. Does it?
Let's talk about this word underneath. What does that mean?
Underneath. I guess it would mean underneath. Would that go underneath the umbrella of director?
So underneath means the same thing as underneath?
Mm-hmm. Underneath. Let me see. You have some mud underneath your chin. You need to wipe it off.
Are you serious? It's like
no. I was just giving an example. You have a spare tire underneath your car, right? Now, for those of y'all who knew what that meant, thank you for understanding. But for those of y'all who didn't know what underneath meant, you're welcome.
You know, I like to think of myself as a
champion,
as a champion rooster, and
champion,
and all of our hosts are my little chicklings.
I like that.
Yeah. And I watch over them.
And you must eat worms and throw up into their mouths to keep them nourished.
Right. That's the Facebook stuff that I do for them. That's the worms and that's the vomited worms.
The promotion.
Right.
Gotcha. Right. Did you promote the show for it?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah. How did it taste?
Tasted real good.
Yeah, I've got to feed you. Got to keep you fed.
Like that book, How to Eat Fried Worms. There's many ways to eat a worm, and you feed us. You feed us well.
You're welcome.
Now, is Facebook just one of the ways that we're fed, or I'm sure there's many things you do behind the scenes for us hosts, and not just hosts, the audience, the viewers like you, viewers like me. Let's see, you.
No, that's about it.
And you're also nice to all the people you talk to. Right before the show, you mainly talk to the guests of other people's guests before they come on. You're nice and cordial and well mannered, and I think that calms them down so they can have a good show. Because believe it or not, TV land, a lot of the guests you see, that some of them get a little nervous, and Joey brings them up to where they're comfortable, and I believe that's another worm down our gullet.
Tell me more about me.
Well, Joey, well, I think that was it. Besides your new haircut, I could tell them about your new haircut.
Do you like my new haircut?
I do. I walked in today, this morning, and I said, wow, Joey's looking extra sharp today. His hair's not wild and woolly like it gets sometimes. It's, well manicured. His beard is looking sharp.
Thank you.
I do like your. I'm gonna comment you on your beard because I do love your beard.
I asked the hairstylist to give me a haircut to make me look like a lesbian, so that I could, my wife would be attracted to me.
He succeeded.
Thank you.
How did your wife like it?
Love you, sweetheart. I'll do anything for you.
Now, just to look like any type of lesbian, or were you trying to look like a specific lesbian?
I'm my own unique person.
Right.
Yeah.
You're your own lesbian.
That's right.
Nobody can take that away.
That's right. Well, I'm my wife.
Except with long hair.
Yeah.
Right.
She's loving this.
That's great.
Hey, baby.
Well, yeah, the barber was successful.
I'm not sure the beard thing is. I'm not sure the sculpt your beard to trick people into thinking that you have a jawline thing is working.
What?
Can we get a shot at that from this camera? Am I tricking people? Do I look like I have a jaw?
Oh yeah, that's a fine jaw. Can you turn your head a little bit? Oh, it's a fine jaw line.
When you see it from this angle, you can see it's a total trick.
It's a scam.
We'll
It's a
scam
trap.
People. My wife, she sends her love to me. She says, "I love you, honey."
That's nice. And she's satisfied with the lesbian haircut. Maybe it's a.
She said yesterday that she thought it was quite sexy.
I agree with her,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's just a lesbian haircut. It could go as far as being a transgendered look, like
A transgendered look. Okay.
Right. From a woman.
Well, I'm gonna have to talk to my hairstylist.
A woman in transformation to become a man.
Can we get this overall shot here?
That's what you got.
Let me see if I can see that. Let me get this shot here.
Tell me something
Oh,
good.
crew member. Can we get this shot here?
Crew
please?
member. Can
we get the shot here, please?
2,
Thank you.
3.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, think so.
You're halfway there, gal. You're almost there, butch.
Are my estrogen shots starting to show?
Well, you should be getting testosterone shots. Now, are you going for the look of a woman blossoming into a man, or man blossoming into a woman?
I'm going for a look of I'm going for the look of a woman. This is getting confusing.
Oh,
a man blossoming into a woman blossoming into a man.
A man blossoming into a woman,
Right.
whom's blossoming into a man.
Or is it the back? A woman blossoming into a man blossoming into a woman. Is that? I don't know.
Well, it could be either one, because you're right in the middle. And
Transgender stuff is very confusing to me.
You're right in the middle. No one can tell which one it is. So at this point, anyone. We'll check back 2 weeks from now, and then we'll get technical with the title. But anyway, you're looking good, looking sharp.
I don't know who I am anymore.
You will in a couple months once those shots kick in.
Okay, it's reassuring.
You'll be talking like this, or
we
don't know yet. Will you be talking? Or will you be talking like this? No, that's even deeper. Hey, my name's Joey. Yeah, come and be a skull brother with me and get some dip in your mouth. That's what they called people who used skull back in the day. Skull brother. Hey, skull brother, come get a plug.
Was that real man or hardcore lesbian? Which one was that?
You see, the lines are so blurred these days. It could have been either one. That could have been a real man or hardcore. Well, I believe. Nah, we shouldn't get. I shouldn't be sharing my beliefs on what I think
I should
how
release about
lesbians
what I think.
about how lesbians should act, because I have no clue.
You have opinions on how lesbians should behave?
No, I don't. But I was about to
You
express
have to
one.
pretend like you are.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think that you are in any position to tell lesbians how they should behave.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, speaking of lesbians, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm scared to look at the chat room right now. I'm terrified of it.
Don't look. All right. New topic I want to get to. If you just watched Reflections at 1:00, you may have heard the ladies talking about. We had a guest this morning, and can I say the part about what she said as soon as she came in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. We were sitting there. It was probably 3 minutes till go time.
Mm-hmm.
And she walked in, and Dr. Jones was up here. He's about to go on, and we have monitors here and here, so we can see ourselves sometimes and the guests. And Dr. Jones was about to go on, and he was just making sure his hair was straight, laid back and stuff. And he asked out in the audience, "Hey, how's my hair?" And then in comes someone we hadn't met.
Nameless
A
person.
nameless person.
Sometimes we don't say people's names because we don't want to
We don't want to cause foul
somebody
Right.
publicly.
Right.
But in this case, it is nameless person because we have no idea
I know
who this woman was.
No, I've never seen her in the neighborhood. I've never seen her.
Nor did we have time to find out.
Right.
Yeah.
And she walked in as a.
She is an instant legend.
Right. I mean, everybody's been talking. She's been on what? This is the second time someone's
She
brought her up on
walked
the network.
Into our lives, straight into mythos.
Right. I mean, just skyrocketed right to
Yeah.
the top. Everybody's talking about it. But it was funny, interesting, and very telling.
So she walked in. Dr. Jones, he's very personable with the people who are here in the audience. He jokes around with them, etc. And he said, "How's my hair?"
How's my hair? And she.
And what did our new guest say?
She says, "You don't need to be worrying about your hair. You need to be worrying about
Your Jesus.
Your Jesus.
Your Jesus.
Your Jesus."
Wah, wah.
And then I believe someone in the audience.
What? First of all, this is not a church.
Right.
It's a production studio.
Correct.
Second of all, what church do you walk into
Right.
and say that to the person who's about to speak on stage?
Right. Yeah. I mean, she's one of those. Some people are just bold and they don't think before they talk.
I'll grant her bold, but
Right.
you need to finish the rest of the sentence.
Right. Some people are bold, but some people are also stupid. Right. So I wouldn't walk into somewhere I've never been before. Somebody says, "Hey, how's my hair?" You don't need to be worrying about your hair. You need to be worrying about my sandwich you're making. You need to worry about that delicatessen meat over there.
I would have appreciated that much more. I would have said, "Yeah,
Right.
I want a sandwich."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if she would have said something.
Dr. Jones, where's my sandwich?
Right. If she would have said something funny and clever like that, everybody would have laughed and would have kept going. But she would have left anyway, because once.
What are you talking about? I mean, I want a sandwich.
Oh, you want a sandwich? Right?
I'm saying, yeah, Dr. Jones, quit worrying about your hair and make me a sandwich.
Oh yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd say just like you said,
Yeah.
I want one too.
Let's have a sandwich.
Let's break bread together and have.
Let's stop judging each other about whether we have Jesus.
Right.
And let's get Dr. Jones to make us sandwiches.
Yeah, that would have been totally fine. I wouldn't have thought about it twice. I wouldn't have blinked an eye.
I would have been like, heck yeah, I want a sandwich.
Heck yeah.
Who else wants Dr. Jones to make them a sandwich?
Everybody raise their hand.
Everybody's
raising their hand
here. It's unanimous.
It's unanimous, and maybe after the show, Dr. Jones will have a couple sandwiches ready.
Maybe that's what we'll do from 8 to 10. Dr. Jones will make our studio audience and our internet audience all sandwiches.
That would be awesome. That would be good.
Best
TV.
show we've ever done.
Right, because we'd be eating.
Right.
And he could would just set up a buffet table, all the meats, cheeses, dippings, and scrapings. You got your chicory juice on the side, And
Your what?
chicory juice.
Okay.
That's what you dip your sandwich in. Kind of like a what do they have at the Arby's there?
Our viewership is plummeting.
Their loss. But at the Arby's, they got the French dip. What's the name of the dip? Au jus. Au jus. Au jus.
That sounds like what you say
Gesundheit.
to a baby.
Au jus, a pretty baby. But anyway, yeah, she would have left anyway. Dr. Jones said something like, most people think Jesus came 2,000 years ago to die for our sins, but that's not the case. He wasn't a sacrifice. He was murdered. He didn't come to take care of our sins.
Yeah.
And then
that was Dr. Jones' opening line.
right. Yeah, that was the first thing he
I
said.
would like to begin by saying that Jesus Christ was not a sacrifice for our sins. He was murdered, and at that point she got up.
Right.
And she walked in the back and she made a scene in front of 10 children.
Yeah, that
about
was
how
uncalled
we were changing the Bible, and then she left and walked out of our lives and into legend.
Into the history books.
Yeah. We're all hoping that she doesn't come back strapped with bombs.
That'd be horrible. I'd run. Speaking of bombs, I guess I'm glad we caught the guy who did those bombs at the massacre. I mean, not the massacre, the marathon. It was a massacre.
Yeah.
The Boston Marathon. We caught it. Well, it was Friday night. We got that guy. Yeah. I hope he makes it. I hope he recovers from his wounds, because we'd like to get some information out of him.
Yeah.
His older brother died, but I heard that he actually ran over his older brother trying to get away, and that's how
Is
he
that
died.
true?
Yeah, he was his older brother. This is what I've heard on the news so far. Got out of the car, or he got out from behind cover and started shooting at the police. They started shooting back. He might have been hit, but wasn't. I don't think he was fatally hit. Anyway, he was on the ground. So his brother hops in a car and just backs up to peel out and run, and drags his brother like 50 feet down the road. Yeah, it's horrible. So we could have had both of them alive, but the other one, I believe, helped kill the other one.
And then he didn't even get away.
Huh?
And then he didn't even get away.
Right, and then he got caught. Caught in a boat.
You'd think that if you were going to murder your brother in an effort to escape, that you would
Right.
at least get away.
So he wouldn't have died in vain in his eyes, you know. Yeah, he got caught in a boat. A lot of men been caught in a boat with their pants down, and that was their downfall. He just one of many.
Now that is a man who died for somebody else's sins.
Right. Yeah. Sure did. Yeah. Absolutely.
But the guy still didn't escape. He didn't
Still-
escape his sins.
He didn't escape them, but now he's in jail. Well, in the hospital.
I don't understand what could motivate somebody to. I mean, why? Why would they set off bombs and blow a bunch of people up?
I don't know. That's
what's the point?
Nobody. That's what everybody wants to know. Nobody. That's what people ask after every major tragedy. Why did they do it? Why did they do it? They just don't know. And if there is a reason, it's just some just irrational reason, like the lady at the bank didn't give me a deposit slip when I asked her to. It's something crazy.
I've heard that it was a terrorist attack. I've heard that is questionable.
Right.
I've heard that the two gentlemen had an Islamic background. That doesn't mean that was their motivation, but
Right.
But you know, what was their motivation?
I don't know. I don't think it was a jihad. I think they were like wannabes. They spent a lot of their time here in America going to school, going to good schools, you know, a part of the society. One was a boxer, one was a wrestler, Seemed like they had a pretty good life. The older one was married and had a 3-year-old kid. They just, it seems to me they was living normal lives, and then one guy's YouTube account had a playlist of terrorists. That was the name of the playlist, and it just had a bunch of terrorist propaganda and stuff. So I think they were just wannabes and wanted to prove themselves. Maybe there was somebody on the outside who was saying do this.
What qualifies in your mind a terrorist who is not a wannabe?
Probably like the real deal. No, I'm not saying he was a wannabe terrorist. A wannabe jihadist.
What's the difference?
Well, Timothy McVeigh was a terrorist, but he wasn't waging a holy war against.
Okay, well, I understand that not all terrorists are jihadists.
Right. That's what I was saying. They're wannabe jihadists.
But any religious person, whether it be Muslim or whatnot, who comes into another country and blows up something
right
out of religious motivation, in my opinion, is a terrorist.
Yes, absolutely, every time.
So I understand what you're saying, that there is a difference going one way, but I believe that all religious motivated attacks are terrorism. That's my opinion.
I believe that too, and that's what I was saying. He is definitely a terrorist, but he was just he wanted to be in that group of radical religious fanatic who hates other religions. They wanted to be that. They weren't really that. They were just seemed like they was just getting into it, and they wanted to prove themselves right away. They're terrorists all the time. Anybody who blows up a bomb in America is terrorist every single time. But what I'm saying is the motive is they were just wannabe jihadists, they wanted to have a legitimate reason in their mind to blow something up.
So you think they were just into fire? You think they're just like pyromaniacs?
No.
They're I think looking for a reason to blow stuff up.
No, I think they wanted to be a jihadist. That's why they blew it up.
Well, they were.
But
if they wanted to be, and that's why they did it, then they were.
But I don't think they were deep into it like the people in, say,
if you're suggesting
Pakistan,
that maybe they didn't represent the actual interest of a core religion, I can accept that.
Yeah, well, I'm not real sure which. I think they had Muslim ties. But see, they spent most of their time in America and pretty much Americanized. They didn't just come over and 2 weeks later blew up something. That one was been here since he was 7 years old. The other one was here since he was probably 14 or 15. So it's not like they just came over and blew up stuff. I think they started out normal kids living in America, then started getting into some of that Muslim propaganda stuff. Not Muslim propaganda, excuse me. Radical Muslim.
It was what Muslim. I understand you're trying to be sensitive.
Right. I'm not trying to say all Muslims.
This is not a network that is set up to be sensitive towards religion. Okay.
Right, but
I know that there's lots of wonderful people in the Muslim religion, just like there are lots of wonderful people in the Christian religion. But both religions have aspects of them, plenty of aspects of them, that are designed to make people violent and exclusionary.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But
so that is true.
That is true.
Now there is in this day and age, there's much more Muslim violence towards outsiders than there is Christian violence towards the outsiders.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the core philosophies of both do not motivate people towards that.
Right.
Now I don't know much about the Muslim faith, except that many of its people who claim to be its representatives have been violent people. I know about my own upbringing, my own roots being that of a Christian roots.
Right.
I know the Bible from beginning to end, at least in the English text.
Right.
I'm
And you
not
can't get
well-versed in the
much
original
more
language.
violent than the
But
Bible.
that's what most of your violent fundamental Christians, and they are out there.
Oh yeah.
That's where they're coming from. They're coming from the English text.
Right. They're coming from most of the time deep in the Old Testament.
Yeah, and you have a God who is represented as being very exclusionary and very violent towards the people who don't accept him.
Right.
And then it also teaches that you should be perfect as God is perfect.
Right. And nobody can, so they go out and
No,
kill
you can.
people who can't.
Yeah.
You can be perfect as God is perfect
Sure.
on earth.
Yes. See, once again, in your mind, you're going to your own concept of God. But remember what the Bible says that God is, that he's an exclusionary, racist, genocider.
Right.
I like that word. Do you like that word, genocider?
I like it.
And he genocides people.
Right.
So, if you want to be perfect
Well-
as God is perfect,
Oh yeah, I'm better.
that's the definition.
I'm better than that guy.
You're
by
taking
far.
your own definition of perfect, and you're saying, well, I can't be perfect. But I said be perfect as God is perfect. And the way that the Bible defines God is in my opinion, a very imperfect.
Right. Not
Somebody
perfect at
who's
all.
prone to jealousy and rage. And there's lots of people who have gotten to that place. Maybe.
Oh yeah, they're perfectionists if you want to look at it that way.
And that's in my mind. That's the bottom line. I'm not against Muslims. I'm not against Christians.
Right.
I love people. I want them to do well. I want them to experience freedom inside.
Mm-hmm.
But it is this religion that binds them up, winds them up.
Oh yeah.
And some people are able to cope. You find varying degrees of coping with religion. Some people cope well,
Mm-hmm.
By comparison.
Right.
And some people go through all kinds of psychological problems because it creates such a tension in the mind between
Right.
how, people don't naturally believe that they should be, murderous or biased or racist.
Right.
I don't think.
Yeah.
But they struggle with what their religion tells them that they should be.
Absolutely.
Even if they don't, confront it face to face. I know there was a time in my life, being a Bible reader, that I didn't even realize what it was doing to me. That I was reading about this God who was different from me. That he told his people, "Thou shalt not murder," and yet he commanded his people to go and murder.
Right.
And somehow my brain buried that contradiction on its surface, but still struggled with it deep in the back of my mind. And I would say by comparison, I coped with that pretty well, but some people don't cope so well with that.
Right.
They
take it for real.
lean towards the side where God says to go and murder anybody who's quote unquote unrighteous or
Right.
unlike you. Go and cleanse this world of its impurity,
Right.
of its corruption.
That's what I was getting at. The non-perfect people in the eyes of the radical religious people. There's a lot of them out there, and they want to kill them, and that's what's so horrible.
Yeah.
They'll see somebody, maybe a gay couple, and they want to kill them. They want to go back home, draw up a plan to kill these people because hey, if God doesn't like them,
Yeah.
hey,
So I don't propose to know what specifically was in the minds of these young men, that they would go and blow up a bunch of people.
right.
I don't know that was their motivation. I cannot say that now. I'm not them, and I only know what little I've read in the media.
Right. Even if it was, is still irrational and doesn't make sense.
But I'm just saying I don't want us to feel like we need to be sensitive towards religion. I'm not accusing the Muslim faith or the Christian faith of causing this. But I am saying, let's not pretend like it doesn't have the potential to do so.
Oh yeah, I'm not pretending anything. I was just saying, I just didn't want to lump those people in with the Muslims out there who may be coping with religion, like you said.
There are lots of good people,
Right.
who claim the Muslim faith, but they don't. They are not literalists.
Right.
They appreciate some of the tradition. They take the stories that are in the Quran, and they take it with a grain of salt. They're smart enough to do that, and
Right.
and
That's
I can appreciate that. I personally think we should not destroy those books, but take them extremely. Take them with a rational mind. In other words,
Right.
I can read the Old Testament of the book of my upbringing,
Right.
and I can say, the people who wrote about this God, they're crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some lessons to be learned here, but it's certainly not to be like that God or to listen to him, but it's to read their stories, understand where they're coming from, understand the struggles that they had in this life, to
Right.
trying to understand God, trying to move forward. I mean, these people in the Old Testament were dealing. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
You have to admit that they were dealing with life in a savage time,
Right.
a savage day and age where
It's
where
horrible.
Races of people were constantly destroying other races of people. Kingdoms were being built and destroyed, all the time, and people didn't have compassion towards one another. They stuck with their own, and anybody outside of them weren't worth anything, and women were just property, and this wasn't just true of Jewish people, but it was true of
everybody,
of all people. This was just a savage day and age, and so you find people trying to move forward in a world like that, trying to find some way to bring people together and to lead them.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it from that perspective, you can kind of have some sympathy on why they wrote these books and described God this way, tried to scare people into behaving.
Oh yeah.
And I can understand that, but we're not in that day and age anymore.
Mm-mm.
And
Far
we
from
don't.
it.
I don't. I appreciate somebody like Dr. Jones who helped me to see that.
Absolutely.
We live in a new day and age, and we don't have to respect a God like this. We can understand the purpose of why this was written, but this is not for me. This was not written for me.
Mm.
I'm not somebody who considers women property. I'm not somebody who's going to murder somebody if they piss me off.
Right.
I'm all for joining in and working together to move even further forward than we are now in this civilization, and I don't have to have somebody to scare me into doing that.
Right. Thank the Lord, because that would be horrible.
Fist bump.
Praise Jesus.
That's who we are.
Word up. I just looked at my stopwatch here, and we got about probably 5 minutes left. So
We got Steven texting me that he thinks the show is canceled. He forgot that his show is now at
4 o'clock. What a dingus! Come on, Steven Furlong. What's going on?
Am I wrong about that? Did we get the schedule wrong? T-Bog's at 3, right?
T-Bog's at 3. Yes.
I just had crew member confirm that for me. He's always right.
Right.
Yeah.
T-Bog's at 3. Wold's at 4. And do you have an announcement about the 5 o'clock spot?
Yeah, thank you. We put a new show in the 5 o'clock spot called, it's currently called Save the Atheist. I don't know that that's the name we're going to stick with, but
So far, it's doing very well.
show that begins with myself and Greg Bray arguing, fighting, trying to make fools of one another, trying to school one another.
Schooled you, son.
On various topics. Last week we talked about, the topic was, is any of the Bible the Word of God? And having said all that I just said,
Right.
I do believe some of it is. I do believe in a creator.
Yeah.
A conscious, willful creator. And I believe that there are little bits of things in the Word of God that Creator said. I believe that we have the ability to sift through it a little bit. Doesn't mean we're always right, but we can try.
Got to try.
Yeah, that was my position.
And
Greg came at me from this position. No way.
No.
Not
happening. Fairy tales, unicorns, and magic bumblebees.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think
your
he even
book
did
is,
this,
sir. Yeah, he did it, and and it was
that was his argument. His whole argument was
for 50 minutes. He was
every time I said something, he was like, oh hell no,
and then there was somebody in the very back going, "Tell him, girlfriend."
That's right.
I think it was his son. He got him to do that. But what I'm disappointed about is this week, y'all's topic was going to be breastfeeding in public, yay or nay, and I really wanted to get both of y'all's opinions on that, and it's a no-go for this week.
Yeah, the show's canceled.
But you'll be back next week, same Joey time, same Greg channel.
Right.
5 p.m. Central Daylight.
Yeah, but the breastfeeding
time.
discussion is permanently canceled.
Right. Y'all only had time to do that this week. This was the only time in.
Right. I was in the mood for it this week.
That's why I'm so peed off that it's canceled. What's going on? Something's going on here. What is this about? Oh no, this had nothing to do with the show. I thought I did.
You just wasted like 30 seconds of our time.
No, I thought somebody was sending us some kind of a comment, but it had absolutely zero to do with the show. You want me to read it?
No.
Please?
No.
It's kind of fun. No, it's nothing bad. We'll end with this. I'll tell a joke, then close the curtain. Is there anything you want to say before I go into
the joke?
No.
Reading the text?
This isn't the joke. I just want to read a little bit of this. Is there anything you want to say before?
No.
We enjoyed hanging out with our family and would have a great time anywhere. The people watching provided us with endless fodder and entertainment far better than ship offerings. Our waiter was nice and our cabin staff was attentive. Yeah. Carnival is definitely a budget operation that caters those with a Waffle House palate. Next time we will definitely pay more and go Disney or Silversea. Love this review. I laughed out loud. We love to people watch. Can't wait.
You are ruining this show.
Now, I would like to tell a joke and then curtain, please.
You've got a long way to go to recover from that. That was horrible.
What did
you just spank your own leg before you began?
Yeah, that's how I comfort myself.
Is that okay? All right.
What did the golf ball say to the horseshoe?
What?
Hey, why don't you quit? Why don't you quit horsing around over there?
Well,
all right, guys. Thanks for watching. We love you so much. See you next time
you're a one-man wrecking ball.
at 3 Eastern. Chip, chip, cheerio. Stay tuned for Wold, starring Steve.